Modern people have a paradoxical relationship with space. They may have reached to the stars, explored the ocean depths, and fathomed the unfathomable, but they've also cut themselves off from their environment and the forces around them. They abandon the Earth and risk becoming rootless, extraterrestrial creatures. Long ago are the days when, as peasants, they had physical contact with the land. Today, high on their tractors, they have become human machines. Long gone are the days when, as navigators, they were at one with wind and water. Today, as they wing peacefully, comfortably, and hygienically from continent to continent, they have lost touch with the dream of Icarus. They have hardly any active contact with the elements, with matter, or even with gravity. In their daily lives, they do less and less of the things that once linked them to the world. Once upon a time, they were used to walking. They strode up hill and down dale. Today, in lifts, escalators, cars, and trains, movement is leveled. Many once familiar physical actions, beating, hammering, pounding, grinding, and wood turning, are now done by machines. Various kinds of recreation compensate for this loss. Some, such as fun fairs with swings, Ferris wheels, and roller coasters, are not new. More recent forms of diversion include sporting activities such as jogging, skiing, water skiing, surfing, windsurfing, and hang gliding, virtually all of which are marred by the spirit of competition. Today, people tolerate their bodies, reluctantly accepting their weight, and they maltreat their vertebrae, although some civilizations still teach the art of sitting. They may become restless as they passively consume sounds and images, but they avoid real movement. What about dancers? Once upon a time, like peasants and sailors, they were in tune with earth and sky, with seasonal activities, the lunar month, the weather, and the rhythms of life. But as traditional farm work disappears, this kind of dancing is also dying out. And so too is dancing as a form of festivity. Since the beginning of the century, however, new dance forms have appeared that seek to revive the time-honored relationships between people, their bodies, and the natural world. Today, as part of the globalization process, dance, more than any other form of expression, is an area of exchange and understanding where East, West, North, and South are meeting, not without incident perhaps, but with growing enthusiasm. Why is this so? Dance testifies that people belong to the universe and its profundities, gravity, silence, and sanctity. Even when performed outside sacred precincts, it is full of ritual meaning. Performance is a rite whose preparation, rehearsal, and production is a communion. Ritual is inherent in an activity that establishes a special relationship between dancer and teacher during a time of awakening and initiation. Dance is a rite in which the body is listened to and cared for, calling to mind the ancient idea of the body as a temple. A dancing body establishes a relationship with the universe and becomes a point of contact with energies, forces, and flows. In its extreme affirmation of verticality, it points the way to ecstasy. Dancers do not take leave of their senses. On the contrary, they use their senses with great subtlety, not only the so-called objective senses of sight and hearing, but also the subjective senses, especially touch, by which they make contact with the physical world. Dancers are physically normal people who stand apart from the passivity of everyday life and the tension of sporting achievement. They occupy the middle ground between the interior and the exterior. They commune. They compete neither with themselves nor with others. Dancing together in a group is only possible if there is harmony. Dancers discover space in a state of rapture that is not far from rapture of the soul. The element of dance is empty space. Its instrument is the human body. There is no need for words, colors, earth, stone, or wood. Dance lives in the present tense. Its life is one of loss and renewal. It vanishes and reappears. The dancer, the only begetter of the dance, is mortal. The body ages and one day will rot. Dance has no Stradivariuses, and there are no museums of ancient dance instruments. Constantly reinventing themselves, intoxicated with perfection, dancers throw themselves headlong into their art. The repository of the dance tradition is mainly the body and the spoken word. Knowledge is transmitted by one-to-one contact between master and pupil. The camera and written notation are useful tools, but they can never replace the moment of transmission, the unique instant of sublime pleasure when the core of a movement is communicated like a secret to a child or an adult. The dance master is something of a shaman. The essence of dance is rarity, quality rather than quantity, being rather than having. The way to perfection lies through learning by repetition, a long apprenticeship whereby a movement is rarefied from ordinariness into dance. Dancers do what anyone can do, but the way in which they do it makes their dance different and unique. They are transformed by their efforts. They embodied in concentrated form all the movements of the plant and animal kingdoms. They are trees whose roots move. They are fish and birds. They are moving trees, tall earthbound birds. They progress through space horizontally and vertically like great moving crosses. But the inner movement of dance is silent, except in the rare cases where body sounds are heard, hammering feet, clapping hands, snapping fingers. It is a movement that emerges from silence and the void. Breathing provides its inner resonance, the embodiment of harmony between earth and heaven, the physical and the metaphysical, high and low, dark and light, the expressible and the inexpressible. Dancers are enraptured and enrapture those who watch them. What they create is as dazzling and transient as a flash of lightning. The dancer has and is a sacred fire.